We're delighted that it's in Foxwoods, one of the fantastic venues. We'd like to thank our promoter. It has to be the most passionate boxing promoter of all time, and someone out there needs to do a reality program, Living with Lou, because I'm telling you, it would be something else. I'd like to thank HBO for having Matthew back. I'd like to thank Ken and Kerry, and in particular Peter Nelson. Hopefully Gennady and Matthew can show the same tenacity that Peter Nelson that he showed in making this fight. I'd like to thank Peter. Thank you very much. Gennady, 26 wins, 23 knockouts. Most of the middleweights are afraid to walk down the same side of the street as him. He's got this Triple G nickname. It's like a superhero. He's like a mythologist. I've never seen a fighter just to grow such a reputation in such a short period of time. And he's earned it. He's a hell of a fighter. I think he's got the 88% knockout ratio, which is the greatest in the 124 years of the middleweight division. So that's quite saying something. But first time I rang Matthew, said about fighting Mr. Golovkin, Matthew's reply was, no problem, I'll fight him. And that's Matthew Macklin. Good old-fashioned type of guy, good old-fashioned type of fighter. No frills, but plenty of thrills. So I would like to thank you guys very much and we're very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. What is my name again?
Mihal.
Mihal. I just got back from Macau in China, of course. Mihal is how you say hello. So it's Mihal. So when he came up to me this afternoon, I thought, gee, were you there in China too? Hello to you too. Thank you for sharing that with me. So it was at the top of the afternoon to you. And you did that without a translator too. It was great. I really appreciate it.
I don't know if anyone understood me.
Well, let me bring up our other promoter representing the champion. Tom's been in the foxholes of boxing for quite a few years, and of course he's involved with the two world heavyweight champions, Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko, and he's now guiding the career promotionally for the middleweight champion that it's very difficult to get opponents. And one of the reasons we're here this afternoon is because we have a real stand-up challenger in Matthew. But let me bring up to the microphone the Director of Operations for K2 Promotions, Mr. Tom Loeffler.
Thank you, Michael. It's always nice being up here on the podium with people I call friends. We'd like to thank Foxwoods for hosting this fight. I think this will be a terrific fight. One of the best in the middleweight division right now. As soon as we announced it on Thursday, the reaction, both on Twitter and the internet and everything, it just blew up, as far as two great middleweights fighting each other. And as Lou had mentioned, there were a lot of other options for both Matthew and Gennady, but this is really the best for both of them. We both had dates. But I have to, give a special acknowledgement to Peter Nelson and everybody at HBO for really making this fight happen. It's true that, when we were going back and forth, the fight was on and then off and on. And it wasn't a matter of Matthew not wanting to fight Gennady or Gennady not wanting to fight Matthew. It was just a matter of timing and putting it together on this date in June 29th. I feel we have the best middleweight in the world today, sitting right here in Gennady. It's just a matter of him showing it in the ring. And the only way he can show it in the ring is to get the other middleweights, who are also considered great, to fight him. There's a champion, Daniel Giel, who was obligated to fight him after his fight with Sturm. He vacated the title, didn't want to fight him. Ngicom from France was obligated to fight him. He was actually Gennady's mandatory, and he vacated the title, so he didn't have to fight him. That's the guy that Peter Quillen fought. So there's middleweights. I mean, when I say it's hard to get fighters to fight him, I have a harder time making a fight for Gennady than I do for the heavyweight champions. And I've never really experienced anything like that, but that's why I have to give a lot of credit to both Lou and Brian for helping make this fight together. I've known them both for a long time, and a lot of credit to Matthew for taking the fight. It's clearly, in our opinion, it'll be Gennady's toughest test. We saw Matthew's punching power. We were both at the Garden last year when Matthew fought Sergio and knocked him down. And so there's no question that, you know, Matthew likes to fight. You know, he's not going to run away, and he can punch. So we're looking forward to that. Also, after we're done here, maybe I can talk to Peter about the, I'll be representing Lou when we do the new, what is it, new series, Living with Lou? We can do Boardwalk Empire, we can do Living with Lou. No, but again, just a lot of credit to them, and a lot of credit to the fighters. So with that, I'll let Michael do his thing and introduce both of the stars of the show. Thank you.
You do realize that Living with Lou would be R-rated and would make the Kardashians look like a Disney Channel show. But I look forward to it. We have to have that on HBO. What is it, HBO S or something that has all that?
Cinemax.
Yeah, okay, Cinemax, yeah. The late night stuff, that's cool.
Many beats an hour, yeah.
Especially when Lou is in Monte Carlo. I want to hear about those adventures. That has to be fantastic. So now comes my favorite part of my job, is when I get to introduce the stars of the show. You know, we have all the elements of a great night of boxing. It's a triple header, a spectacular main event, the hottest division in boxing, without a doubt. Traditionally, as I said before, it's a glamour division in boxing. And we have two fighters, when you look at their numbers, they knock people out. And this is what brings people to the HBO screen. It's what puts the asses in the seats, as they like to say. It's what fight fans, promoters, sports writers all want to see. Guys that know how to fight, guys that have technique, that have skills, that have talent, and knockout power. And on top of that, you're gonna be listening to a couple of real gentlemen here at the microphone that seem to have the ability that when the bell rings, they're not the nice guys that you're about to see here in front of the microphone. They're both fighters with the will to win. First, let me bring up to the microphone. He's officially listed as the challenger. I like to think of him as an uncrowned champion. As I said before, I saw him in a championship fight that I really thought, and many people that were there thought he won. 29 victories, only 4 defeats. 20 of his 29 victories by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger for the WBA Middleweight Championship of the World, Matthew "Mac the Knife" Macklin.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Just wanted to thank a few people to start with, really, and that's I'll start with my team. My promoter, Lou DiBella, who, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne definitely wouldn't have a patch on. My manager, Brian Peters, you know, everyone at DiBella Entertainment, Tomas Rohan, who helps Brian out a lot. I want to thank Peter Nelson of HBO and everyone, Ken Hirschman, Kerry Davis at HBO also for making the fight happen. I want to thank Tom Loeffler at K2 and Gennady for accepting the challenge. I mean, when the fight got put to me, like Brian said, I said, sure, no problem. I mean, initially, I wanted to fight in June as a tune-up fight and then to fight Gennady September, October, but, you know, I'm not the kind of person to turn down world title shots, and I can't believe that anyone would do that. So for me, to go out for the shot at the middleweight championship of the world, to turn it down is just ludicrous. Especially when, you know, I've always wanted to be involved in the big fights. I want to be champion. It's another shot at the world title. Felt I should have already been WBA middleweight champion when I fought Felix Sturm over in Cologne in Germany back in, I think, actually it was the last Saturday of June in 2011. So that's a bit of an omen there. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the fight. You know, Gennady's got a lot of hype around him at the minute. He's 26-0, 23 knockouts. Like Brian said, he's at the highest knockout ratio in boxing at the moment, I think, and is it something like 124 years in the middleweight division, which, you know, that's pretty spectacular. You know, his last fight he knocked Shida out cold in 3 rounds, someone who'd never been stopped, been 12 rounds with Dimitri Pirak. But, you know, the other thing is, Gennady's fighting me, who has 20 knockouts in 29 fights, and I'm by far the biggest puncher he's fought. So, that's obviously something that will be in his mind, something that'll be in my mind also, something that, I think will be a factor in the fight. I don't think he's just going to be able to walk in on me the way he has done against some of his, past opponents. And the middleweight division, like Brian mentioned and Michael said as well, when you look at the heyday middleweight division of the 40s and 50s, you had Rocky Graziano, Tony Zale fighting each other in rematches and trilogies, and Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta and all those great fighters. And even the Leonard, Duran, Hagler, Hearns era, they're the fights that are still spoken about today. They're legendary. They just have legendary status now, and they're the fights I want to be involved in. First and foremost, I want to fight for the world title, I want to win the world title, but I also want to be involved in the biggest and the best fights I can be. And I think Golovkin is, he ticks all those boxes. I first was aware again at Gennady in 2000. We both boxed in the World Junior Championships in Budapest. He got fighter of the tournament. So I thought, I'm going to look out for this guy because I think our paths will cross one day. I fought at the weight above. Always thought our paths would cross in the amateurs, but I turned pro a year later. He had a drawn-out, long amateur career, so it's funny how things happen. But here we are, 13 years later, and we're fighting for the middleweight championship of the world. But like I say, a great fighter. Can't talk bad of him as a fighter, and can't talk bad of him as a person either. He seems like a gentleman, and credit to him for everything he's done in his career so far. And I do believe he will go on and achieve more and achieve all the things that everyone says he will do. But he's going to lose first, and he'll probably be a better fighter because of it. And this fight reminds me a lot of the Trinidad Bernard Hopkins fight, when you had the knockout specialist, undefeated guy, ploughing through everyone in Felix Trinidad, and he fought a guy like Bernard Hopkins who'd had a couple of losses, but learned from his losses, come back better, was seasoned, hard and professional. And during that fight he outthought, outmaneuvered, out-hustled, out-punched, and eventually knocked out the supposed knockout specialist in Felix Trinidad. And that's exactly what's going to happen on June 29th.
Thank you, Matthew. Well, I'd like to bring up the champion at this time. 26-0, 23 KOs. The highest knockout ratio of any active fighter competing right now in the world. And I believe the highest knockout ratio in the history of middleweight champions, world middleweight champions. An Olympic silver medalist. He's gaining more and more respect and acknowledgement among fight fans around the world, and I think last night was an example of the type of recognition that he gets. And we were out to dinner together, and Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan were in the same restaurant, and I went over and said hello and told them that Gennady was there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've seen that guy on HBO. Yeah, bring him over." When you get recognition by, all of their athletes love boxing. There's no doubt about it, and they recognize the fact that it's mano a mano. It's just one guy in there. It's not a team sport. You gotta, the bell rings and all the training you've done, and your coach is in your corner, and you have to walk out to the middle of the ring. And have two of the greatest NBA players and probably one of the greatest athletes in the history of all sports, and Michael Jordan, recognize you and acknowledge that you're somebody that they admire and respect as an athlete is pretty spectacular. So let me bring him up to the microphone at this time. Once again, just like Matthew, this is one nice guy, one real gentleman, but two fighters that when the bell rings, they're going to try to knock each other out. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBA middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Triple G Golovkin.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'm happy to come back in New York, in HBO. Special thank you so much in HBO. I'm happy to stay here. Thank you very much, Mr. Libero, your team. Thank you. I respect you. You best challenger for me right now. I understand my situation. I understand. Thank you very much, your team. Thank you very much, my team, my promotion, Tom. I think very difficult fight for us, very big fight for us, because look at him. I see same size, same power, same speed. I remember fight with Sergio, very close fight. I know I understand my situation. This is very good fight for us. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up, everybody. But I want to bring something. It's not solidified yet, but for especially for the people here today and members of the press, there's going to be a press conference the Wednesday before the fight. So that's June 26th, Wednesday, June 26th. It'll be here in New York, and we're working on the possibility. Lou and Tom are trying to work this out, where we're going to put together buses to transport everybody up to Foxwoods. It's a great time of year to be up there. You'll be able to come up on, we'll try to work it out for Wednesday night or Thursday morning, whatever. And I think that's going to be a big help for members of the press. And I know there's going to be a lot of coverage of this fight. So we want to have everybody up there at Foxwoods, which is, as Lou mentioned before, one of the great places to spend, and that is just like one of the great times of the year for one of the most beautiful parts of America. So we're going to do everything we can to accommodate the press and have a great event on June 29th on HBO and at Foxwoods, and we'll see you all then.
Foxwoods.com.
Foxwoods.com. Living with Lou, coming soon to HBO.
Hey, I got that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming.